Hi, my name is Nupur, and I was getting asked some questions over and over again in some of the circles that I'm a part of, and I thought that maybe I can use this medium of video to try and answer some of those questions. And if other folks find it useful, then well, that's the bonus. So the two questions are number one, why Sonam Wangchuk continuing with a hunger strike despite knowing that the government is not necessarily the most receptive to public opinion. And why doesn't he just stop? Like, so basically, this was in response to someone expressing concern regarding Sonam Wangchuk's health and expressing concern regarding just how many days it has been since he's eaten, and could this go the GT Agarwal way? Unfortunately, which could be very scary. We could lose a very important personality. And the answer by the other person was that I don't think he should do this. Like, why is he doing this? Isn't this sort of on him? And I would like to sort of share my response here, which is based on my reading, my understanding, my conversations with people, which is that a person who becomes famous or who becomes known for his acts of thinking beyond his well-being also is the person who then chooses to go on fast, right? So people generally like, it's basically a package deal. Like, this is the same person, like, he became known. Sonam Wangchuk matters because he has time and again shown um, and used his intellect and used his skills for the well-being of the people of Ladakh, with the creation of the how he improved on the existing ideas of snow stupas, ice stupas, which bring irrigation to the people of Ladakh year round, to building solar powered, solar heated tents for the soldiers of the country, to, of course, fighting tooth and nail last year, unfortunately being imprisoned last year for the statehood of Ladakh, which essentially is a climate issue, and therefore affects everyone. And so the such a person, so this person became famous or became known, or is given so much respect for his, because of his, and then of course Sekmol, and revolutionizing how education was being delivered in Ladakh, right? So I guess the point here is that the reason why he's famous is the reason why he is on fast right now, because he's constantly thinking beyond himself and thinking about the well-being of the people of this country, the well-being of the people of Ladakh, and so forth. And right now he is chosen to put himself through this painful ordeal of a hunger strike in the middle of Delhi's sweltering heat. So that's that. Like, you wouldn't have a Sonam Wangchuk doing all the things that he does if he was somebody who could just be like, okay, I will. I mean, there are a lot of different ways to do this, but the fact that he chooses to be on hunger strike is connected directly to some of the traits that made him who he is, right? So that was my sort of answer to that question. That please don't expect someone to suddenly change and be like, in these things I'm going to have this lens of thinking for other people, and in this now suddenly I'm just going to think about myself and my body and my health. As much as I want him to end the fast, of course, as much as I want him to be able to end his fast, and regain his health, of course. All right, that's the first question, which is my interpretation of what's going on, obviously. The second one is a much more fundamental question, which again, different people have tried to answer in different ways. So I'll just put my sort of spin on it. The question is, what will happen if Dharmendra Pradhan resigns? What are we trying to? What is this whole sort of hullabaloo for? And the answer, well, is the short and long answer, straightforward answer, is accountability. As a democracy, we choose to delegate responsibility um, of taking decisions to our leaders. We are, in some sense, saying we cannot be in power, but we choose you to be in power to carry out this responsibility, whatever that responsibility may be, and that's electoral democracy. And in fact, it's so interesting. Like, our parliamentary system comes from the British parliamentary system, of course, the Westminster parliamentary system, and there is something called ministerial responsibility, where a minister is expected to step down, is expected to resign when there is a failure of this nature, which has affected so many people and which is completely a failure of government, right? It cannot be attributed to any citizen body. Oh, they did this, hence we did that, and so forth, right? It's a complete failure of government. So the idea is very simple. If people are choosing you to be in power, or people are choosing their members of parliament, and they are choosing you to be in power, and they are choosing the government, and they are creating the government, and they're choosing you to be in power, then at the very least you have a responsibility towards those people, and it is the right thing to do to step down and take the moral responsibility of not only the suicides at the very least that have been caused because of this, but also the opportunities that you have denied to so many Indian students of being able to start their medical careers or their medical scholarship this year. So that's the first part of it, the moral responsibility of it. And second, of course, is the fact that what is this, if nothing happens, if there are no consequences at all of this failure that has happened, of the NEET exam being leaked, if there is no consequence at all, then what is that teaching our government officials and our bureaucracy? It is teaching an entire set of people who are responsible um, for these systems to work, that it is okay to fail. It is okay to fail without, I mean, there's going to be no consequence for failure. So that is the signal that goes out, that it is okay to gamble with the lives and potential livelihoods and careers of so many students in the country. So these are my two sort of, I guess, not short answers to these two questions. Hope it helps.